god, did you see his numbers again? Yeah, he's been at the bottom for like a month.
Come on, you scrubs! To arms!
Lex might be a little too far from the mic. Maybe a little closer.
It's touching my face.
Not another spider!
I was not protected. Oh yeah, doesn't work with fall damage.
I was standing in the pool because I thought we had the silk in.
Ooh, fell asleep at my desk. And I drowned in the Strowman Canal.
No, Jim, I don't want to hear about your chaos bolt.
What, you want me to dispel? I don't even have that on my action bars.
Stop standing in the fire!
What fire?
Alright, pre-pot, and tricks to the trade. Oh, that was the healer.
What just killed me there? Yep, physical damage. So bad at playing a demon hunter.
Oh my god, we did it.
You're listening to Scrubs vs. the World with your hosts, Cyrub and Projolly.
And welcome into the show, everyone. Tonight we are going to climb those towers of Torghast and ruin the Jailer's Night. And joining me for this episode is the co-host with the most, Projolly. How you doing tonight, bud?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I just cooked me some chicken shawarma, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Ooh. That sounds
I'm learning
delectable.
how to cook, and it's a good time. Yeah. And also joining us is the co-host of the Morally Grey podcast, Mr. Fear himself. How you doing, bud?
Oh, shit. What's happening? I'm here. I'm ready. Been playing a lot of WoW.
Yes, as we all have been.
Hell yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What has been the latest and greatest accomplishments of 2021 so far? Projolly, how about you start us off here?
So my raid guild is working on Mythic Council of Blood, and we're getting to the hardest part of it, which is the last. Once you got Niklaus left, you got an ad. Your tanks basically run back and forth across the room for a minute and try to survive. So they're having a lot of fun with it, and I just like hearing them swear a lot.
That'll happen. Now that fight's a shit show on freaking normal, so I can only imagine what it's like on Mythic. Fear, how about yourself, man? What have you been up to?
Well, I got my Warlock is sitting around, I don't know, a little over 200 eye level, and I've completed normal raid. Stepping into Heroics a little bit, got a couple of bosses down in Heroic. So working on that. And then I've kind of been getting an itch to try healing. So, and I'm sorry for all those out there that I got that itch. But I boosted a shaman, leveled that bad boy up. After I leveled my DK to 60, which I don't even play now. I'm just like, I don't even care. Got it to 60. I'm like, I don't even care. And then I got the shaman up. I've been leveling it. I don't know if I kind of feel like I want to switch to it, but I'm probably just going to play them both on different teams or something if I've got the time. I mean,
yeah.
And I want to heal keys is what I want to do. I want to heal fucking keys.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good choice.
And I'm sitting about 8 on my keys. I'm a little low, 8, sitting around 8 area.
Nice.
So it hasn't been too bad.
I haven't done shit on my keys, so 8 is respectable on.
I want that fucking mount. You see that fucking thing? I don't even like mounts. I'm like, fuck mounts, right? Most of the time, I'm like, every once in a while, though, I see one that I'm like, ooh, I want it. So I really want that mount because it's a cool looking mount, but you got to do all the keys at 15 timed.
Yep.
And that's
all
in season 1 too. So I'm like, I better learn how to fucking heal quick.
Oh yeah. Well, the good news is shamans are pretty solid. So
yes,
they are. But healing, I got to pay some respect to the healer folk out there, man. Y'all put in some work. And you kind of start learning, like you learn mechanics real quick by, hey, why is that guy standing in that shit over there? What the fuck are you doing? Like that type of thing. And so I've got some mad love for the healer folk out there because every time I'm doing it, I'm like, it's a normal dungeon and I'm fucking stressing. So, but it's been good. I've been digging it.
Yeah, no, that's great because the hard part is if you screw up just a little bit, it's all your fault as a healer. And that sucks. And so, like, I'm the same way you are. Like, I'm in a normal dungeon. I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Oh, crap. The tank's pulling, like, 17 packs here. Here we go.
Some of these fucking tanks, man.
Oh, dude, it's rough. But you get the hang of it. It's pretty fun.
And that's how I like to learn. I like to pug. Like, even though I normally don't like to pug, but I like to learn that way because I'm like, if I can heal this psycho fucking tank that doesn't know what it means to wait for fucking mana, then I can heal my boys that are like, that I'm on voice comms with going, hey, slow down for a second. I'm going to take a drink. Hold on. So I kind of figured if I can get used to that, like trial by fire, then I'll be okay.
Yeah. No, that's definitely... That's how you cut your teeth, if you will.
Yeah, on the Guardian Druids, you think they can tank in cat form. Yep.
Why'd you let me die, bro?
Iron Fur's just a suggestion.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've had a pretty good week as well. We also took a dump on Steve Denathrius on normal. Started working the heroic. We got Shriekwing and died horribly to the Huntsman, but I think we'll get that.
Ooh, he's rough on heroic, yeah?
Oh, he's brutal, man. So I think we're going to get him this week because we were coming down off of our high from beating Denathrius. So
nice.
Things were a little rough, but we'll definitely hit him up here. Well, it'll be tomorrow night as of this recording, the 20th.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully we kill him. And then I'm getting some alts. So I got a mage up, and now I'm working on my monk. And just trying to get a leather worker up so I don't have to keep buying the goddamn legendary pieces on my shaman.
Yeah, on my lock, I did tailoring and enchanting and leveled it up pretty quickly. And it's still rough. To get those base pieces, you got to craft like 15 for each rank. So it's like a real pain in the ass. But the enchanting's nice, being able to enchant the items, the leather, the cloth, and the bars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mage isn't a tailor enchanter, so I just need legendaries now at this point.
Hell yeah!
But we're not legendaries, epics. I'm sorry for the epic mats.
Right.
So once I get into a flow, like my plan's to do the daily callings for at least 4 tunes because those give you like 1,500 to like 2,500 gold, sometimes more. So I want to try to farm up gold that way.
I was able to farm up a lot of epics just doing the that's how I kind of got into doing the mythics, the dungeons, is doing the zeros because you got chance at loot off each one of those bosses. So if you're just doing the zeros, I would run with the guildies, just anybody doing a zero, I would do it just at the chance to get that loot to disenchant. But that's that worked out pretty well. But then you do all the enchants for the guild. Me and the tank are doing all the enchants for the guild, so it burns through them pretty quick sometimes.
Well, and those the big ass orb thingies, whatever the hell the biggest mat is called. Yeah, the Eternal Crystals sell for a ton.
Yep.
Mine have gone down on our server. They've gone way down. They were, when I leveled it, they were selling for 10, 11K.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I spent so much gold leveling that shit.
I maximized that. I sold a few of them. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, I did too.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So that's one good thing about this expansion is like you'll spend gold, but then you'll get it right back.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I've found. I've kind of teeter-tottered up and down, but I've stayed pretty solid. I did get an epic that sold for a couple of hundred, but it was pretty good. So.
Nice. Well, hell yeah, man. Well, let's turn our attention to the one game mode that has the community split here. That is the Torghast, if you will. So, Prajali, let's dive into that. What is Torghast, and why is it important?
So, Torghast is a giant torture dungeon created by Sir Jailer. He's got a little kink, and we're there to participate. No, if you've ever played a roguelike game, so I think Hades is probably the most popular recent one, Darkest Dungeon, Risk of Rain, games like that, or even the old original Rogue. If you're 50 years old, the Torghast.
I'm 46 and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh man, go look up Rogue and see if you can even install it on a modern computer at this point. But basically, it's a replayable end-game instance. You enter a wing of Torghast and you work your way up the floors, killing different mobs, encountering different puzzles, picking up different powers along the way, and those are kind of randomized too. So there's always a grab bag of what you'll get, and you proceed through collecting resources until you get to the end boss of that layer of Torghast, and then you have to defeat that big baddie with all the powers you picked up. Or if you run out of lives, you get to start all over again, or slam your keyboard. Either way.
Probably a combo of both.
Yeah, you may. Yeah.
That was a pretty good rundown. Now this, I want to have a conversation about this. Like, what do you guys feel about this? Fear, let's go ahead and start with you. This thing has been, I've seen positives, I've seen negatives. Where do you stand? Or where do you sit on what side of the fence are you on?
So, I got to play a little bit in alpha and beta, and I was jazzed, man. I was like, fucking Torghast is awesome. I was like, it's like Diablo and WoW had a love child, and I could do these levels, and it's badass. I get all these powers and extra talents, and I can fuck shit up. And that's how I felt around beta time frame. Now I feel like Blizz came in, put it right in my ass, and said, what, you want something for this? Nah. No, we're going to leave you here just swinging in the wind, bro. So, like, right now, I feel like the 8th floor thing, I don't have a problem with. Like, I realize that that's kind of the thing you got to do to get your Soul Ash to make your legendaries. And I feel like I'm okay with that. You got to do the work to get your Soul Ash to do your legendaries. I'm good with that. Then they came out with this twisting corridor fucking bullshit. And they put that in there. And here's the deal, though. Here's the problem. If anybody doesn't know what the fucking twisting corridor is yet, you're in for a surprise. But let me tell you, it's like 3 of these fucking things put together. So it's 18 fucking floors in one layer. 18 floors. 18 fucking floors. So, like 2 hours goes by, and if you don't pick the right shit, or maybe you don't get the right shit, or maybe so you run into, Murphy's Law, some bad luck happens, whatever, and you don't kill the last boss. Well, you just fucking spent 2.5 hours for what? For what? Dick. That's for what. and then if you win, guess what you get? Guess what? You get a fucking cutscene. That's what you get. And a little bit of Soul Ash from the quest. So you're never going to get that fucking Soul Ash again. So forget about that. And forget about it. You just spent 2 hours, well, in my case, fucking like 3 hours or 4 hours, and it's probably because I'm slow, but around that, I spent in there to get that cutscene and finish my quest, and I felt like I'd be okay spending that time if Blizzard wanted to maybe give me a little bit of fucking reward for my time spent. That's all I'm saying. A little reward for fucking time spent. Now, I don't even want to do the shit, dude. I look at the Torghast, and I'm looking at my Warlock, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go play the Shaman right now. Fuck Torghast. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Fuck it. I don't want to do it no more.
That's fair.
Fuck Torghast. That's what I'm saying. Fuck it.
That's fair.
Until they give me some rewards, Blizzard, I don't even care about it. I'll do the ones for the Ash, but I don't even care about your quarter. What, for a mount in the Maw? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'll play my Shaman and go Ghost Wolf, motherfucker.
I mean, that's what I do.
I just want a reward, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm just reward me for my time fucking well spent. Okay? That's it.
So, in your opinion, what would a good reward be for doing a twisting corridors?
Oh, a twisting
like just
corridors?
A normal. Yeah.
Just I mean, if they want to, I mean, they could do rewards in several different ways, and I'm not a good guy, because I'm one of those guys that I'd be like, yeah, bring back badges when that shit didn't work before. So I'm a fucking idiot. Like, don't listen to me. but like, I feel like they either need to give some Soul Ash for it, As like, if you want to spend your time doing that extra time doing that, you're going to get your legend. Or, hey, fucking give us some anima, but we know how they like to give out anima, dude. Fuck you. Yeah, fuck you with the anima. 35 fucking anima, dude. What am I going to do with 35 fucking anima?
Oh, you're going to deposit it.
That's like Christmas Vacation when that grandma asked that kid to rub her corn on her toe for 25 cents or some shit.
No bueno.
No, it's not good, man. It's not good.
Yeah.
You need some rewards.
I was thinking, like, if you had anima that maybe added up to, like, 250 anima or something.
Yeah.
Like, throughout. Like, each boss dropped X amount. Mm-hmm. It kind of got you there. That would have been nice. Or maybe some soul ash, like you were saying.
I got to tell you, man, I would even take, like, 100 anima per, like, big boss or something. Like, just fucking, I mean, something. Just give me a little. So at the end, when I fucking spent all that time, I can say, well, at least I got this 300 anima and I was able to finish my quest for the week. Or, whatever. Just something. Anything.
Yeah.
A fucking
I agree with you.
Tug and a tickle. Something.
I think
game's
that
rated
would be
teen.
nice. So, Prajali, what is your thought on this?
So, I too participated in some beta Torghast when everybody just had all the god powers and it just felt like you just went through and crushed it. And clearly they were just limit testing the place because they took away a lot of that, or they made it a little more rare to get those situations. I think Torghast has the potential to be replayable through the expansion, but I think the Soul Ash rewards being tied to it feels kind of crappy because I feel almost like I have to run it on my alt. It's mandatory. Like, I'm fine doing the clears on my druid every week for my main, like, keep up on legendaries and stuff, so I'm ready for next patch or whatever when we get rank 5. But it feels bad going in on my undergeared shaman when I switch off of my mythic and PvP geared druid and I just go down 40, 50 item level to my shaman and just get crushed by everything in there.
I'm feeling that.
The crash down to earth's a little too real on that one, but
yeah, I didn't think about that. How you have to do it for the alts too to get the. That's a good fucking point. Just put that in mind too. Yeah, that complaint goes with my shit too.
Noted. When we email Blizzard later, we'll definitely add that.
Ian, I have some grievances.
Fear from Wormrest Accord. Shout out to my guildies.
Long time listener, first time caller. Twisting Corridors does feel longer. I have not done a solo level of Twisting Corridors. I run with my GM and one of my buddies who plays Unholy DK. He switches to Blood. And so Blood, Disc Priest, and me on a Boomkin. And we kind of tear through the place once we get a couple floors up and the powers start rolling.
Yeah, you got the mighty trio there.
It's
tank hill DPS action.
We'll get into some of the trifecta really does make a difference if you can find some buddies to go through it with a tank spec and even a healer. It makes it so much smoother. And if somebody gets really shitty drops, you've got a chance that somebody else is picking up their god anima powers, So there's a lot to play off of that. So the solo experience can definitely be different, though. I know, at least in December when we were running through them on a weekly basis, some of those felt like a fucking chore. And
they were rough, man.
It was bad.
Feel that.
There's a couple bosses that still give me PTSD. Specifically the butt-haired vampire. He fucking... My wife and I run those together, and he laid us to waste. And every time we see him, I'm just like, oh god, here he is again. Oh no.
He's back.
The butt hair's back.
I hate when they have stuff they want me to interrupt, and I need my pet out to interrupt, but yet I gotta have my fucking blueberry out to tank, and he doesn't interrupt, and it's like, man, fuck you, Blizzard.
Well, that's why you just go to Shaman and get the wind shear.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love
so
that fucking wind shear shit. I love wind shear. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 interrupt all day long.
Every
and for
time,
a ranged, Well, I play ranged
The
anyway.
best.
Shamans. Oh,
Yep.
beautiful.
It's the best.
I'm really starting to love them fuckers, man.
Well, this
Never
is
really
the
played
best
one, but I'm really starting to like them.
Shaman has ever been, in my opinion. And I've been playing Shaman since BC.
Do you normally heal, Sai, or do you normally DPS?
Yeah, I normally heal.
Okay.
So, but for the twisting corridors and the Torghast in general, we found that when I go healer, because I just run it with my wife. Like, my wife and I run it together because it's the only really two-person thing we can do at this point.
Yeah.
So we go in, and she plays a hunter. I was doing resto, but I wasn't doing anywhere near enough damage to do anything important.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found I run elemental when I do the Torghast now.
Yeah.
And so her and I just lay waste to everything, because you get the hero power when you drop the totems.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just game over.
Oh, that thing's money right there. Ooh.
Oh, it's insta money, and then you get the one that increases your
Static
haste with
charge.
hero. 99.
Static charge or healing totem. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then you get the
it's
hero
amazing.
off of it. It's beautiful.
Oh, man. But yeah, so for me, like, I actually really like Torghast because it forces me to use my entire kit, because it's just the two of us and we don't have a tank, so sometimes situations get a little hairy. So we actually
Right.
CC, and it takes us forever to finish one. But as a whole, like, when I'm running dungeons outside of this, I'm actually a lot calmer. And I feel like I know my class inside and out now because I've had to learn my class. Because I get those kind of odd, weird abilities, like Frost Shock, for example. You get a Frost Shock that decreases damage by 25% for 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember to cast Frost Shock. So that helps me out. So then that way mobs are doing less damage. And then if you get the one that it kills them instantly, if they're sub 10%, that's a money shot right there.
Yeah.
So it works on bosses and everything. So
Yep.
it's stuff like that that I appreciate from a gameplay perspective. But like you were saying, I wish the rewards for twisting corridors was a bit more better.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that because I feel like the horrific vision thing, right? The horrific vision thing. You go in with 5 masks. That's how I felt. I felt, man, this is a fucking challenge, man. Some of these bosses, I'm struggling to get it down with the lock. Whatever, I'm juking and jiving. I'm doing the whole thing, and I'm getting it done. But at the end of that, I was getting these mementos for this mount. I was getting fucking gear with corruption on it. I was getting chests full of shit and pets and fucking... I was getting rewarded for my time spent in horrific visions. And after a while, I was like, fuck you, horrific visions. I don't want to do you anymore. I done got the title. I got the mount and I got all the shit. And I did all that. But I was like, ooh, I still want to get these mementos because I want that winged little buzzy mount, that red fucker, the wicked swarmer.
Right.
So yeah, so it's like I feel you on that. Like, I like the challenge of it, and I agree it forces you to change up how you play sometimes, and I like all that. But it's like I just want the reward for it.
Right.
That's all.
Something tangible to...
Yeah, just something, anything.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just like...
Pat on the
pieces of
fanny,
gear.
good game, fuck, something. Anything.
I mean, and honestly, like, as you get higher in the layers, that might be kind of a fun way to get maybe raid level gear outside of raid. Because, like, in the past, like a BFA, for example, you can get raid level gear doing a high level Mythic Plus. Well, maybe if you do a high level Twisted Corridors, maybe you can work your way up the gear level and actually get gear to do those higher levels to try to get them out. Because I feel like in my opinion, this is totally where I stand on gearing. I'm come from the old school where rating should be number one, right? But now that the game's kind of moved towards a different kind of style where you can play different modes with less people, as long as you're doing something that's the same difficulty level, I'm cool with people getting raid level gear. Because doing like a Mythic 20 is a pain in the ass, right?
Right, yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, so if you don't have a raid team, that makes perfect sense for me. Like if you're working with four other people, you should be able to get a raid level piece, I think. Now I know people could abuse it and farm it and whatever, but
right.
I mean, just in my own experience, I feel like that's a good way for people who don't raid to maybe catch up.
I think, yeah, man. I think how Blizzard's doing it now with all these different facets, like you're saying, like the Mythic Plus, and then you've got Raid, and you've got PvP, and you've got these different things going on, and they all have a high skill level attached to them at the higher levels, like you were saying, and I feel like Torghast feels that way to me as well. But fuck, it's got a high level at the lower levels. But I think that's right. I think you should be able to get something for that. Not, and sometimes not everybody's going to get those rewards or whatever, and I get that. Just like I wanted the key mount in BFA, I didn't get it because I didn't do keys. So I wanted it, but I didn't get the shit because I didn't do the shit.
Right.
I got the raid mounts because I did the fucking raid. That's
there you go.
Just the way it is. But I think Torghast. I just that's what I want. I just want that reward there, just something. And even for me, I'm like, I raid, so I don't even care if it's raid loot. Although raid loot's kind of scarce even right now. But I understand that. To me, it feels more valuable. Like I got a weapon out of my vault today. Felt really good. I was like, ooh, that feels good.
Nice.
Get that little weapon bead, little anal bead there for you.
Hell yeah. Little anal bead. That's some good shit. But yeah, I just feel like Torghast just needs to give a little something extra, a little something. It doesn't have to be something critical. Like for me, I don't feel like it has to be gear, because then everybody's going to be like, I have to do this for gear.
Then it becomes mandatory.
Right.
Just like the Soul Ash, like you were saying before, Pro. And that to me is, I just want something for it, though. I just want something for my time. Because, like, right now, I haven't even gone after mounts or anything. I'm just like, fuck all this shit. I'm like, I don't need to. I need raid gear and raid and see the story and stuff. That's where I'm at right now.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
Just reward. I just want a reward.
Yeah. Well, in Projalia, like, what do you think would be a good, like from a mythic rating perspective? That's a great point. Like, if it was gear, then it would feel like it was necessary. Do you think that your team would dive down that rabbit hole of being forced to run the corridors?
Yeah. We've kind of got like a handful of people who went straight in and just tortured themselves through all 8 of the twisting corridors, just like day 1, 2, and they're like, why the fuck did I do this for a mount I can use in the maw that I'm already like only running once or twice a week now because I can't stand Stygia farming. So, and then you've got people like me who are just slowly progressing through it when we find free time on twisting corridors and just doing our 2 wings for the week to get Soul Ash. So I think you do run the risk of, if you attach gear to it, or at least if it's not catch-up gear, like if you do current gear, you do create a situation where people at my progression, people above my progression, are absolutely going to farm it until they don't need that loot anymore. And then it creates... You've got this culture thing in WoW where if the top 100 guilds are doing it, you almost feel compelled to do it, even if you're just a heroic level raider where you're not...
That's because you watched a fucking YouTube video and saw that shit, and then
you don't need that extra 1 or 2 item levels at that point. There's better things to focus on at that point than dropping 3 hours into a Torghast run that you might not, So it's a slippery slope, and I think they were really trying to create this as optional content, at least as far as the Twisting Corridor goes. Kind of in a way that Islands were. Like, some people ran Islands just for, the neck increase on a weekly, or like to get the weekly done, and then they were done with it. They never touched Islands again. Like 3 Mythic Islands and you're done. And there were other people who were running like 100 a week just to like get all the mounts, get all the extra stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's not me.
So it'll be interesting to see where Torghast goes, I think, throughout the expansion. It could end up being like Islands where people just like begrudgingly do it occasionally, or they could keep adding more and more cool stuff to it and be like, oh, we'll give like unique mounts, or we'll give weapon skins, or I don't know. Transmog's always a big thing that keeps people coming back.
I feel like some people can stop doing it though. I mean, like if you're one of those players like on my Warlock, or maybe not, like maybe if you're one of those players where you're just playing that one spec, you're not playing anything else, that's your fucking class, that's what you play. Like, I could see you getting your best legendary or your best couple of legendaries and then being like, fuck Torghast, I'm done.
Right.
You know, and being okay. Even for raid or whatever, as long as you've got those couple of legendaries. I mean, I've crafted 3 of them motherfuckers for one character, and it's ridiculous.
Right.
No, yeah, and that's a great point. Now, do you think they should have added like those, like you're saying, the transmog and maybe some more mounts? Maybe they're not necessarily like used in the MA per se, but maybe give some more of those rewards in the like they did with the islands, because the islands I felt like were fun, but then I was like, meh, I don't really care.
I don't have to do them, but if I want them, I can.
Yeah,
right.
If I need the neck power, I'll do it. But other than that, I don't really give a shit. Like, do you guys think that maybe if they add stuff like that to Twisting Corridors, that would make it a little more appealing? At least you're getting something for killing yourself for 3 hours.
It might. I mean, so let's see. Layer 2 of Twisting Corridor. Once you complete that, you get one of those Death Seekers as a battle pet. One of those floating eyes, Torghast. I think Layer 4 gives you a toy that lets you transform into one of the big Mossworn guys in there. So that's kind of a cosmetic toys are always fun. Like, people just pop them in raids, pulling out the Christmas costumes and the Transmorpher guy. Layer 6 is a title, and then Layer 8 is that mount. I feel like for a first patch, it might be okay.
I like those rewards. I just want them to add some anima in with that. Just throw some fucking anima. Pepper some, just a little bit. Nothing crazy. I mean, I know they've got little bit down. They've got that concept down. 35 anima. I mean, just throw it in there a little bit. It doesn't even have to. It could even be random, or just off the final bosses or something. Just throw some anima in there. Just a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be good, because then you could turn that into, like, when you're farming your 1,000 for the week, you can go, well, I'm going to choose to do a Twisting Corridors because it gives me, 100 or whatever. Even though that won't be the most efficient way, but, maybe it'll add that layer of, okay, well, at least I'm moving forward in my progression towards, the end of my Covenant campaign or whatever.
Well, have you guys had Guildy say, hey, I'm anima starved right now? Like, I can't, I've done all the fucking quests, I can't get enough anima. And maybe they're gating it that way a little bit, but it's like, you go and do 2 hours of fucking Twisting Corridors and you get, like 200 anima for it. I mean, it's not huge, but it's worth it, kind of. Yeah, it's worth it,
something.
If you're starved for it and you're looking to do something in game.
Yeah, I think that would be, like, just a baseline would be awesome. I also think adding in some transmog would be cool. Just something.
Transmog,
just give us a little.
Sick.
I mean, I can understand maybe like the idea behind it was more of a. Well, this is like a challenge mode kind of thing. But even like challenge modes back in Myst, you got a teleporter point for the dungeon you were going to, and then if you did enough of them, you got a token to get a mount. So. Right. And I think you even got transmog sets. So, like, there was something else to it to kind of get you to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, they could do something like that. I mean, they've done it before. Come up with pace. I mean, islands were that. They had those tokens for the islands. They can do something like that.
I think that would be awesome. But, I'm a glutton for punishment. I like pain, so I'm going to just keep doing it.
I'm kind of enjoying it more on my Shaman than on my Warlock. I mean, my Warlock as Destro didn't really seem like there was a lot of anima powers going on. It is pretty sick when you get a shit ton of elementals and there's like 6 of them bitches pounding on something. But
oh, dude.
Other than that, I mean, I feel like the Shaman has been much more fun because there's all this interplay with some totem shit, like you said with the ice shock. It gives them ice shock. It gives them the less damage. I mean, it seems like you have The shaman has so much flavor, man, and I think that's what I'm digging about it because it is a new class to me. But I don't know, man. It feels like certain classes have different abilities in there in the Torghast, and it seems like some of them are a little more fun than others. And I love Warlock, dude. I mean, I love playing it, but it's kind of it doesn't have a lot of flavor when you're just playing Destro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just it. Like, you know, when I run, like my wife has a favorite one where there's an ability that lets you turn, like it randomly turns non-elite mobs into everyday household items if you use arcane damage.
Oh.
So she'll turn them into like a steak or a pair of boots or a chair. And that one's so funny when it goes off.
What class is this?
This is Hunter.
Oh, shit.
That's
I think any class that can do arcane damage actually has a chance at it because Boom can get it as well.
Yeah, and I've actually gotten it on Shaman. So I took the one, I think there's a thing where you, it'll like randomly shoot out an arcane damage thing like at random. Like your damaging spells do it. Yeah, like a bolt. And you can get it with that. And so we're trying to line it up to where we both get it to see how many times or how many things we can turn into like steaks and shoes and whatever. But like shit like that is super fun. Like when you're in the moment of running Torghast, like I feel like they did a really good job because I am a shaman, so of course my kit's ridiculous right now. You know, my experience is a lot different than others, like you're saying with the Warlock.
Right.
I haven't played Boomkim yet, but I can only imagine that it's pretty fun. His Boomkins are slaying right now, at least in the raid DPS.
Yeah, they're killing.
The damage is fun. Only having a minute-long kick is not fun in some of those, where they're just blasting fireballs at you every 0.2 seconds when the debuff gets too high. So,
what do you guys think of the powers this last week, where they give you the beasts?
I heard it had some really bad tuning issues with some of them, but then other ones, the one that hits like 10% health and explodes.
Mm-hmm.
The damage on that one scales like crazy.
Yeah.
Like one of our tanks got that. It ended up doing like 80% of his damage on a boss. It was
on my shaman. I took that
nuts.
tanky one, and man, I just slayed that fucking place.
Yeah.
Because once I have a tank, I'm like,
yep.
We'll light it up.
So you go. Yeah. I actually really liked that event. I thought it was fun.
I like.
But yeah, I did notice that when you got them to explode, I think I can't remember what we were doing. We were just doing a normal 8. I think just trying it out for the first time, and we got to the last boss, and it was at like 40% health, and then one of them exploded and it was dead. And I was like, oh, okay, that was fun.
That's the way to do it, right there.
Yeah, like that was. I feel like if they do stuff like that, but again, give us something like an anima or something, or more soul ash would be great.
Well, and like you were saying too, I think if you're in there with somebody or a couple of people and you're in voice chat with them, it's going to be a lot more fun, and you're going to have it like you're doing. You guys are fucking around doing the stakes. I mean, I could see just laughing it up with the guildies or friends or whatever and doing that content. But when you're just soloing it and just kind of grinding through it with the Walkman on, you're like, fuck.
Oh, yeah. What tape you got on that Walkman?
I call my iPhone a fucking Walkman, dude.
I mean, it basically is, right?
I'm like, it's playing tunes in my ears. It's fucking Walkman. I had one of my kids one time asked me, they said, what's a Walkman? I'm like, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. I don't even know you anymore. You're not my child.
Oh, man. Yeah, I showed my kids a cassette tape, and they're like, how did you even enjoy music this way? And I was like, well, you put it in and hit play. That's how you enjoy it.
Yeah.
You waited by the radio for the song you wanted to record on the tape, and you, you pirated music that way, okay?
Get the karaoke machine ready.
Or when you got the coveted dual cassette and your friend got that new tape and you bring it over, pop that bad boy in and say, I'm making a copy, fucker.
That's right. That's right.
Hell yeah. Memorex.
Beautiful. Oh, those were the days.
Hell yeah.
Well, cool. So what has been, like, how far have you gotten in these things? Like, what's the highest layer? I'm assuming we've all killed layer 8 on the normal runs, right?
I have, yes, and I'm sure homeboy Raiden Mythic down there had to.
Yeah, it's kind of mandatory.
I think they'd kick you out the club if you hadn't done it.
They'd be like, listen, bro, it's been a good run, but no.
You didn't do those Torghast this week, buddy.
You don't have a legendary.
Layer 6?
You're fired.
Gonna need your TPS reports.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
TPS reports?
Torghast Progression Standards Report.
There you go. Now, what did you guys think? Now, they nerfed Torghast already.
Did they?
And I think we did a 3. That's where Budhair Vampire got us. Now, what did you guys think of that nerf? Do you think that was a good thing? Because I feel like the 8s are too easy now. Do you think they went too far?
I feel like it took the challenge away, and the 8s were never my issue. Like, the 8s were never my issue. I was like, I'm doing these for Soul Ash, and if I've got the Soul Ash or I don't need to craft a legend, then I'm just probably not going to do it. Unless I'm doing it with friends or whatever. It's no big deal to me. The 8s are no big deal. It's that twisting layer fucking 18 floor nightmare fucking hell fucking place that they made. That's the one I got issues with. The 8s, I love the 8s. I got no problem with the 8s. It's fun. It's short enough that you can pop in there and do it in one play session. You know, you don't gotta sit there and, you know, divide up some fucking hours and write out a will and shit to go do the fucking Torghast. Like, you gotta schedule a raid night for this motherfucker, man.
You do. You totally do.
Yeah, 8s don't bother me at all. I love the 8s. The 8s are cool.
Yeah, I was a little sad when they nerfed it. But now, knowing what I know now, I'm kind of glad they did, because I would not want to run 2 layer 8s at full power and then try twisting corridors.
Right.
That would
they gave you your fix, man. They gave you your punishment fix. You can go in there and get flogged.
I can get whipped all night long, baby.
How far have you made it? How far have you guys made it?
We just beat layer 3. So we're
shit.
going to start layer 4 here soon.
Yeah, I beat layer 1 and said, fuck you, I'm done.
How about you, Perjali? Did you sneak up past?
I think we've done layer 5. It's just more of a when are people on to do it, because there's no progression need to do it right now. So really, all the focus is on raid and M+ and rated RPGs. And like Torghast is like, we got Soul Ash, okay, we're good.
Besides, PvP is just fucking fun.
Yeah. It's also the most reliable way to get gear right now, which is hilarious.
True.
That is true.
After BFA of what's PvP gear. Now they're like, here's more than you can handle.
I just love it. I mean, I've gotten into doing 2s. I know this off the topic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And all that. But yeah, PvP has been awesome too. Great gear. That's why it seems like there's so many things that can pull your attention in this expansion. And I really feel like I was scared when they delayed. I was happy they delayed, but I was scared. I was like, man, are they going to give us just a fucking shit muffin of a game? Or is it gonna be killer? And I was, dude, day one, man, I was eating that shit up. I loved it. I've loved everything about it so far. And I'm being hard on the Torghast a little bit because I feel like they need the rewards. But like, I really feel like this expansion has kicked ass, man. And like,
I'm right there with you.
Any bitching I'm doing is like, I'm just asking for some small tweaking. That's it.
Yeah.
Little tweaks. And if they don't do it, I'm still good. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this has been my favorite expansion to date.
Oh.
Now,
I got
know
some
it's
love.
early.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm feeling that too. I got some love.
And like every time I log on, I'm like, oh, I get to go do this. Like, I'm excited to do my callings, and I'm excited to go see what kind of weird ass thing in Revendreth I can ride next with the little rubies. There's just so many fun things they've put in the zones that it's awesome. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like they went back to some of the core values of WoW. Like, bringing back a lot of our abilities has helped a lot. And this is just, it feels good. It feels good, man.
I agree.
But hell yeah. So now let's talk about our strategies for how we progressed through these Torghasts, Fear, what's been your best things that you've noticed? Like, when I pick mostly these types of talents, I actually win, versus when I get a little too crazy, I die.
I've been going off a little rule. I watch a lot of, like, sometimes when I'm working from home, I'll watch a YouTube video here and there. You know, sometimes it's funny stuff about WoW. Sometimes it's tips and tricks, stuff like that. And I was watching one, and the idea of this little 2/3 rule came up. And I don't know if that's what the dude called it, but I'm just trying not to take credit for for some shit that ain't.
Well, we're gonna give you credit for this. This is Fear's 2/3.
This is Fear's original guide.
And I'm sure it wasn't called the 2/3 rule. I'm sure I'm just making that part up. It was something else. But anyway, the whole idea of it is that when looking at your abilities and picking things, in general, kind of keep in mind that you want like 1/3 of these abilities to be defensive. You know, kind of keep your shit alive, and then 2/3 of them to be, you know, you want that dick engorged so you can smack them motherfuckers in the face and just kill them, you know? So that's kind of the 2/3 thing. So you got 2/3 like damaging, you know, the epic, everything crazy you can get, and then 1/3 I'm taking care of me, my health, my regeneration, whatever, you know, some like defensive type shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty much seemed the thing that's helped me the best. Also, the idea that I haven't really put into play a whole lot is, and I really should, is like when you start out and you've gotten a couple of anima powers and it's feeling bad already, just get the fuck out of there and start over, man. Just get the fuck out and start over. Because you'll get some different shit and you'll feel better. You'll feel way better. But I've done that, man. I've started out and it's felt bad, like in floor fucking 1. It's feeling bad, and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to keep going. Yeah. It's fucking stupid. Like, it's a waste.
You know, the mental piece of that is a great piece of advice, because, like, when I run these things, like, sometimes I'll get a bad streak, and I'll just get, like, rat harness. Or, you know, something stupid like that, and you're like, oh, no. And you get 5 in a row, and you're just like, this sucks. I'm going to be terrible. And by the time, like, by the end of the run, like, your partner's doing, you know, 60k damage per pull, and you're only doing, like, 7. It doesn't feel good. So, yeah, that might be a great idea, just to get the fuck out and start over.
I never do it, though. I always just grind that shit out and just take the L, man. Take the loss.
3.5 hour L. Oh, man. Yeah, that is too true. It's a little too close to home. Rajali, how about you? What's your strategy when you do that one?
I am a degenerate DPSer, and so I will just pick anything if it's going to give me more damage for the most part. So Balanced Druid really, and I think some of the other classes are kind of similar to this, but if you have, a lot of classes have percent increases on a lot of their abilities. And if it's one of your big damage dealers, you pretty much always want to go with that percent increase, because by the time you get to floor 6 on a regular one, or you get to like floor 18 on the Twisted Corridor, some of your openers and stuff can have like 1,000% damage increase by the time you're done.
Yeah, that raw percent is awesome.
It's insane. And so you've got something like Balanced Druid, Convoke the Spirits, which is throwing 8 spells out over 4 seconds. You're opening with the Prowl, so it gives you like massive increase for 5 seconds after you exit Catform Prowl, and you just dump. I think I was doing 550k DPS on the last boss, and he died in like 4.5 seconds, I think, something like that. Like, so.
Damn.
I think Shaman has one that makes your Flame Shock like tick way faster, and if you can get a couple of those, you're just unlimited lava bursts. And if you've got your Earth Shock lava
hero
burst,
thing,
you can't cast lava burst fast enough. Like, it just unlimited bursts. Like, I know Monk has one that basically every monk takes the Vivify one, I think, at this point, that makes their Vivify healing turn into AoE damage around them. So they just pull a bunch of shit and just vivify it to death. It's the funniest thing ever, but I'm sure they're really pissed that they really only pick one power. I don't know.
No,
Look for those percents. Those are the big money.
Yeah, I felt like Warlock kind of got fucked in there.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with their what they got.
I want to level one now just to see what it is.
Well, you know, I haven't played it a lot on Affliction, and I was going to play Affliction this expansion, and I noticed I was like in my own my parses were really bad and shit, and I was like, I know I could spend the time, but I switched to Destro. I'm loving it. I like it in PvP because I like big 10k chaos bolts, fucking chunking down health. But it feels tough in Torghast because you are a clothy, even though you're a beefy clothy. But it's like interrupts are tied to pets, and you have all these issues. Sometimes when you get those double talent ones, it's really good. But man, it's rough. It's rough with Warlock, or maybe I'm just a bad Warlock. I mean, that could be, man. To be real, that could be.
Well, I mean, to kind of back up what you're saying, I've heard other classes have had that same kind of issue. Like, they just feel like no matter what they do, they can't get over the hump. They're just not getting the anima powers, and they just feel weak. And then other classes go in and just wipe their ass with everything in there. Yeah. So I think maybe Warlock might be one of those classes that's just got the short end of the stick, unfortunately.
And to be fair, they didn't get the short end of the stick in other areas, so it's like they're kind of lucky. But I do feel that with the shaman going in with Ellie shaman, even lower geared, I feel pretty OP with that fucking thing.
Oh, dude, you get the lava burst. There's one that increases the lava burst damage every time the proc goes, and it reduces the cooldown by 50%. It just turns into Meatball City, and it's just
I like
everything
that talent
dies.
that doubles it. I don't know why I like it so much, but when you get that boop, 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 that thing going on, and their health just goes whoop, and they're gone.
Yeah,
that is the most satisfying feeling ever. You're just like seeing that just whoop, 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 and then you're like, oh, bye.
It feels so good, and that's what happens. Like, that's kind of our strategy now. Is I'll go in and do that. And then my wife will do the consistent damage that just kind of brings them down, and then I bring the big chonky damage and make them die real quick. So, like, the end bosses of the floors, like the end dudes blocking the portals, the empowered guys, like, they only live for a couple seconds before we kill them. So, yeah, Shaman's legit. Like, it's a lot of fun.
Dude,
especially when you get the capacitor totem. When you stun them, it gives you a 25% damage increase.
Yes.
Anytime you knock them down or stun them.
Good
stuff.
What covenant did you go with your sham?
I did the Night Fae.
Okay.
And I did. So I was going to go Maldraxxus all the way because it was the most metal of choices, right?
Right.
But then, as I was playing through the story, I found that I was more efficient with the Fae transfer, which is actually an extremely metal move if you think about it, because you're sucking the life force out of your enemies and then shooting it all over your friends.
It's like Gwar.
In a heal.
It's like Gwar.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So, and you know what? Yeah, they got fairies and stuff, but you know what? They're evil death fairies that kill everything. But
I ended up going Venthyr, man. I ended up going Venthyr.
Well, that chain attack thing they do is pretty
that's why I
too.
did it, because all the videos are like, go Necrolord, it's the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but dude, it sounds complicated. Just saying. Like, I could see if you like a longtime shaman player and you've been playing that motherfucker and you know that kid inside and out, and it, like something like that, you're probably like, it's no big deal. I can handle that. But for me, I'm like, nah, it sounds like some of the gameplay is a little too excessive for me when I could just push this on cooldown. Pow.
There you go.
And I like that.
Well, and that played into it too, because, you know, like you were saying, like I had issues with lining up that blast they do to empower everything.
Yeah.
And so, but I put healing rains down and everything, so I'm used to dealing with reticles. So I went to what worked with my playstyle.
Makes sense.
What the guides say to do. Now, if you do, like I said, I don't want to like shit on anyone who uses a guide and does that very well. Like, good on you. But for me personally, I went with the Soul Sucker because I was able to fit that in my playstyle more efficiently than the other one. So my philosophy on this is I take my time. So I actually use CC, like I hex a lot. So
that's what I need to get into doing more, is using that hex.
Yeah. And so when I get into dungeons, like I'm actually using my hex more because I remember I have it.
Right.
But taking my time in there helps me control the situation a little better. So now, granted, with Elemental, you can AoE like no one's business. So, like if you had to go down and fight, 17 mobs, you could. But I don't like to if I don't have to, because some of those mobs are a real pain in the ass. Like especially if you get like Mortregar, with the one that puts the debuff on you that takes away 25% of your healing received, and it stacks. That guy's a pain in the ass. And if you get a whole bunch of those assholes in a group and you actually chain lightning and it chain lightnings everything and now you have 20 things on you, that's not good.
You're hoping that Earth Ellie's off cooldown.
Yeah, and if you don't have that with the earthquake, then it could be game over real quick because you share lives. So I have a fun scrub moment about that here when we get to that section here. But I just take my time. I do the damage. Now, another thing is, I wanted to ask you guys this if you've heard this. So my guildie said there's a talent in there that says give, you get 25% extra nature damage, but then you don't, you lose 25% of nature damage and healing or something like that. I don't know if it's
I know
nature
exactly
damage, but
what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he said the wording of it was weird because it was and healing. So you think just overall healing, right? But I guess it's that type of healing. So if it's frost damage and healing, it's actually frost healing.
Oh, see, I would have never guessed that shit. I just thought it meant healing, and I was like, I'm never taking that. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my attitude about it. The one, as a warlock, I get the one a lot that says, hey, increase all this shit by 30% or 15%, but you can't fucking jump anymore. I'm like, okay. I don't need to fucking jump.
Intellect for no jump, we're good.
I didn't see any hurdles in this motherfucker. I'm good.
Or you get the one where you can't move backwards.
Yeah,
you found that one. That one actually messes with you pretty good.
I hate that one. I like it because of the power it gives you, but I hate it because I walk back. I realize how much I walk backwards.
Backpedaling, yeah.
But yeah, so when I heard that, you get 25% extra leech, but you lose, arcane damage and healing. I guess it means arcane healing as well. So whatever damage type it is, it's also the healing type. So, Prajali, have you heard that?
I think it does apply that way because they've got all the variations mastery, crit damage, cooldown. A bunch of them have different effects, and I think it is whatever elemental school is on that second part after the comma. I haven't verified it because I never take one that's going to reduce my nature damage or my arcane damage on balance street. That's just a bad idea.
Right. You're never even looking at that shit, not even thinking about it.
Exactly. But if it's going to reduce my shadow damage, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Go druid.
I'm an idiot, though. I hear nature shadow. And I'm like, I shoot fireballs. That's nature.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you. I'm not taking it. I'm a dumbass, man. I just hear, decreases this, and I'm like, nah, I don't want that. Fuck it.
Lightning bolt.
And one of the times we wiped was because I didn't take those. So, it was, I think it was, increased haste or something like that. But you lose, I think, arcane damage and healing. And I was like, well, I got to heal, so I'm not going to lose healing. But as a shaman, you're only doing nature healing. So,
what's the damage considered? All of it is the bolts the same as the fire, or I know you're doing all kinds of shit, right? You're doing fire damage.
Yeah, the fire is fire, obviously, and then nature is the lightning bolts.
Okay, the lightning bolts are
and
nature.
Earthquake.
They're not.
And earth
there's no arcane.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fucking taking that on my shaman from now on. Then fuck it.
But exactly. And then the one time you will do arcane though is when you do that, it has a chance to drop an arcane bolt on them.
Oh yeah.
So keep that in mind. So if you take that,
so don't take that one if you take that.
Right. Now, unless the perk is so much better to where it doesn't matter what that arcane bolt is, then it might be worth it.
Right.
But yeah, but that's so nature and fire are the shaman's main damage sources.
Right on.
Well, cool. Well, I think if people can't master the Torghast after listening to this show, I don't know what they're going to be able to do.
It's all of the secrets you need to know.
That's right. Tips and tricks, baby. But this leads us to my favorite part of the show. What has been your favorite Scrub Torghast moment that you've had so far? Here, let's start with you.
So, you know how sometimes you get feared in these fucking things, and
yeah,
and your little dude's running away or whatever. like I usually don't on my warlock. I usually don't have that PvP trinket up. Like I'm usually using a different trinket, and then so I'm feared, and you know how it'll kind of run you off the edge, but it'll just run you to the little lip off the edge.
Yeah.
So I got ran to that, and as soon as I stopped being feared, I ran myself right off the edge. I did this several times, near the beginning, like 2 or 3 times, and then I was like, okay, I got this down. I understand. I'm just gonna stop touching shit when I'm on the lip, and I'm not, and then I'll turn around and run back into play. And I was like, okay, I'll just do that. And then I fell off one time, and then I did it again after that. And I was like, fuck, I'm fucking stupid. I can't do this. I felt so dumb, man, because I mentally knew that I'm going to fucking die here and lose a death and fucking in the floor and fuck myself. But I just went and did it anyway. I don't know. It was just stupid.
That's all right, man.
Just felt bad.
It happens to the best of us.
I was having some mad love for Torghast that day. I was like, I love you, Torghast.
Oh, man. That's almost happened to me a few times, so I bet you're not alone in that one.
No, I hate that fucking shit.
Yeah, that's the angel dudes, right?
Yeah.
Interstitia or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck Interstitia, man. Cold Heart Interstitia. Fuck that place.
That one sucks.
Oh, I hate it.
And Projali, how about you? I'm sure you've had some fun shenanigans in there.
Yeah, so we screw around a lot, but one of the ones I learned the hard way early on. So there's a thing you can buy off the vendors. Vcan and Vcannot, or Can and Cannot are the 2 vendors, I guess. It's kind of a funny name, but you buy the Ravenous Anima Cell, and that lets you turn one of the elites in the dungeon or into the Torghast into a various abilities. So there's a whole guide on Wowhead you can look up. There's some powers that you really want to get, but that's kind of besides the point. You can use it on the vendor.
Yes, you can.
On each 3 floors, and you may get a repeat. There's only 2 vendors, so you may get the same guy again on the floor where you really want him later on. I found out the hard way that if you use that anima cell on one of them, he's never coming back.
Oh no!
So use that on floor 3. You get up to floor 6, ready to fight the boss, hoping you can spend the extra anima power you got from killing him, because that's the thing you get from using anima cell on him is you get more of the phantasma or whatever. So now you're sitting on like 500 phantasma. You get up to floor 6, the vendor's just on the ground dead.
Oh no!
So you get your buddies who are like, "What the fuck did you do, man?"
That would make me so mad too, because the warlock one gives you, like, every time you cast Chaos Bolt, it'll give you 5 of that currency.
Right.
And so you're coming into these vendors with 800 currency. I can't even imagine coming in with all that currency and no fucking vendor. I'd be like, no!
Looks like he's sleepy, guys. I don't know. That I think that's the funniest part about it too, is using that anima cell on some of the other guys will give you like massive fire resist, which is super important, or huge damage buffs if you find the right ones. Use it on the vendor, they give you more of their vendor currency.
Yep.
So you just end up not being able to spend the shit they gave you.
And you fucked yourself out of having that vendor. Oh.
So I do not recommend. There are better choices. Do not do it.
That's good. So I did that too, but I did it on the boss fight.
Okay, yeah. See, I guess that's the one exception. But then you're getting more phantasma that you can't spend.
You can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
So,
it's not worth it.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, I forgot to do this, and I right-clicked it instead of left-clicked it.
That's my problem.
like,
I'll buy the
oh,
fucking
shit.
thing, and then I'll be back in Ouroboros a day later going, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh,
I should have
man.
used that.
He'll sometimes sell that 30% damage potion that you want to use on the bosses, which is just huge.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll forget to use it. You're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to use this potion. And then, yeah, you
I've
don't.
done that so many times.
Anything with the consumables, I have a hard time with. I bought some
you
of the
just gotta
smoke
slap
balls,
it on your
never used
bar.
them.
I started trying to put them on, like, having a couple of empty spaces down below, just something I could, because I normally don't, I use a mouse, so I'm not clicking, I'm just pushing number buttons, but I'll have it down there so I can just click it, just something I can click easy.
Right.
So I don't fucking forget this shit for the millionth time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, my favorite scrub moment was we were doing our layer 3. Now, we killed this layer 3 without any problems. Like, we went through and we kicked its ass, right? But early in the run, we're talking like layer 2 of, or floor 2 of layer 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my wife about these sea shanties that are making the rounds on the internet. And I was like, hey, you want to hear one of these sea shanties? So I died like 3 times looking for sea shanties when I should have been focusing in and actually fighting the monsters that were popping up.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. She was not happy. Because like, I wasted like 3 lives early, and she's like, oh my god, like, what if we die? If we die, it's your fault. He's looking for a stupid-ass sea shanty. I was like, but it's really good. You should hear the sea shanty. It's awesome.
We're pirates now.
Oh, man.
Damn. 3
Yeah.
deaths on a sea shanty. Woo.
Death
3
by,
of them.
Death by sea shanty.
But we won. Like, and we,
Hell
we
yeah.
found, I ended up spending most of my Phantasma on those life potions.
You won
we
because
got
you
to
knew
the
your ass
fingers.
was sleeping on the couch if you didn't.
Yeah, see, you're like, it's
You
time
better
to
be
kick
buying
it
those
into
potions.
overdrive.
Oh, shit.
I was like, yeah, I guess I am. Oh, man. Yeah, so don't mess around in those. I love it. Well, cool, man. So, Fear, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Usually, I'm not a social media guy, so, like, I just avoid that shit. Like it's Torghast. Anyway, I'm usually on Discord, and usually the best way to reach out to me is just PM me, fucking say your piece, and I'll get back to you like in a day or 2 days, like usually, or in 15 minutes. Like, it just depends. But other than that, that's pretty much where most people find me, in the Morally Grey Discord or in the Catalina Wine Mixer Discord. Usually.
Nice. And now you guys on Morally Grey, you guys do a live show Monday.
Yes, Monday 8 o'clock on Twitch. We do a live show, and it's also, we take our podcast from that, and it goes out on all the platforms, like your Spotify's and your fucking iPod shit and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Nice.
speak to Jen for the tech shit.
Well, hell yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Fuck
That
yeah,
was super
thanks for
fun.
having me. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That was
dude.
super fun.
I'm glad
Absolutely.
we get to share our feelings on the Torghast, and hopefully
Vent that shit.
hopefully we can get our 35 anima after 4 hours in the twisting corridors.
What about some of those cutscenes, man?
Oh, those are legit.
You see that newest one?
Did.
The Sylvanas one?
Yeah, the new one, the new one where she breaks out the sword in Anduin's face and he figures out what her deal is. And he calls the bitch on it right there. I was like, I'm like, oh, you punched her card, dog. Like, you could have fucking blew her over when he said that shit. I'm like, ooh, is she gonna do it?
Will she?
Probably will eventually.
I don't know, man. She's pretty nasty, man. She might just say,
She is.
bitch.
The Law and Order sound cuts in. Dun, dun.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show, everyone. You can find us over on Twitter at ScrubsVerse. You can find the Twitch channel. Been starting up the weekly raid progression Twitch streams. That's at twitch.tv/Cyrub. That's CYRUB. Come hang out there Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific time, where the Knights of Chipotle take on the heroic Castle Natria. You can also find us on the internet at www.scrubsversetheworld.com. And you can send us an email at scrubsversetheworld@gmail.com. Whatever you're doing out there, we at Scrubs vs. the World hope you're safe and having a great time. And as always, keep getting good.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.